The moment the protocore phase engine flared to life, Outpost Barrel 3 wasn't the same. The usual hum of coolant lines and cargo lifts seemed to hold its breath. Lights flickered, not from malfunction, but as if even the station was stunned by what Skye Dawson had just done. In the bay, the engine hovered 6 inches off the deck, slowly rotating. Glowing glyphs danced in concentric rings around it like fireflies choreographed to ancient math. From the observation window, alien engineers gawked in silence. What did she do? Tlan whispered. Zrivax didn't answer. He just stared, hands trembling. This wasn't how the story was supposed to go. Skye stretched her arms overhead, yawning. Okay, let's calibrate this thing properly before it throws a fit. She knelt beside the engine, tapping into the side housing with a portable interface cobbled together from a deconstructed blender and half a control panel. Her fingers moved quickly, intuition guiding her far more than formal knowledge. Most of this stuff's like old Terran AI code, she muttered. Recursive, adaptive, rude. The interface spat sparks and beeped in what sounded suspiciously like protest. Yeah, I feel that way about Mondays, too, she said, tightening a bypass circuit. The protocore pulsed again, brighter this time, and the floating glyphs reorganized into a spiral, pointing at a distant star system on the map. She snapped a quick photo of the data with her wrist pad. Never know when ancient cosmic breadcrumbs might come in handy. Outside, Zrivax had recovered enough to hiss into the comm. You tampered with it. You used unauthorized methods. Correct, Skye said cheerfully. Also effective ones. This machine responds only to compatible neuropatterns. You're not even trained. I don't need to be trained when I'm fluent and stubborn. Zrivax's jaw clenched. This is theft of knowledge. That data belongs to the Alari Dominion. Actually, she said, standing up and brushing dust off her overalls, that's a salvage-class precursor relic discovered in neutral territory. Under Interstellar Salvage Law Article 9, Clause 14. Finders keepers. Zrivax spluttered. Jackie's voice came over the comm, smug and parental. Told you she was good. In the control booth, Skye was now surrounded by a small crowd, station engineers, dock workers, and curious aliens from other ships, all pressing in to get a glimpse. The protocore floated serenely, its energy output stable. I don't get it, said one of the station techs, a grizzled cyborg named Remy. We scanned it 6 ways to Sunday. It refused every protocol handshake. Skye gestured at the machinery. You are asking it the wrong questions. That's not how machines work, muttered Zrivax. That's exactly how machines work, Skye said. Every engine has a mood. You push too hard, they get defensive. This one needed coaxing. You're personifying. It responded, didn't it? Jackie leaned in. She grew up talking to Scrap Heap's chief. Pretty soon, they started talking back. Zrivax refused to back down. You will submit all copies of the data to Alari Command. The Dominion has prior claim by virtue of technological compatibility. Skye leaned back against the wall and crossed her arms. You tried for 2 days and nearly fried it. I gave it a lollipop and a compliment, and now it's singing to me. Zrivax bristled. You humans are reckless, arrogant. No, Skye interrupted. We're curious. There's a difference. You lock knowledge in vaults and chain it with regulations. We climb inside the vault with a wrench and ask why it ticks. The room was silent for a beat. Then Tlan, the tentacled junior engineer, asked quietly, What exactly did you do to make it respond? Skye smirked. Trade secret. But I'll show you the basics. She turned to a console and projected the repair interface. You see these feedback loops? They're semi-organic, which means you can't brute force them. But if you mimic biological fluctuation like a heartbeat rhythm, it aligns with you. It starts to listen. Zrivax was fuming. That's heresy. Engineering is science, not sorcery. It's understanding, she corrected. Machines are just puzzles that talk back when you treat them right. Suddenly, the protocore let out a low chime. The holographic map zoomed out to reveal an entire star cluster, several points flashing in sequence. The room stared. It's not just a power core, Sky whispered. It's a beacon. A navigational relay. Jackie's jaw dropped. You mean it's pointing to something? Sky nodded. Or somewhere. Maybe a whole network of these things. Zrivax lunged forward. That data is to be handed over immediately. This discovery could change the Dominion's reach in the sector. Yeah, Sky said dryly. And that's why you shouldn't have it. 15 minutes later, back in a wrench, Sky sat at a booth, finishing off a bowl of spicy synth noodles. Jackie sat across from her, looking half proud and half terrified. You realize, he said, you just insulted, outwitted, and out-engineered the Dominion's lead xenomechanic in front of half the station. She slurped the last noodle and leaned back. Did I? I thought I was just making friends. He's going to report this. Could be bounty hunters. Lawsuits. Wars. Yeah, she said. But also, look at this. She flicked her wrist pad. A real-time recording from the proto-core scrolled across the display. Pulsing signatures, deep space coordinates, fragments of precursor math. The thing was now her pen pal. We've got a map, she whispered.
To what?
I don't know. But I bet the Alari would kill to find out. Jackie exhaled slowly. You thinking what I'm thinking? Sky nodded. Build a ship. Get there first. A shadow fell across the table. It was Tlan. I believe, the Ori said, tentacles twitching nervously, that I may be of some assistance. Your methods are unconventional, but effective. If you're going after what I think you are, precursor tech, we should talk. Sky raised an eyebrow. You switching sides? Tlana's voice was quiet. I'm choosing freedom. The Dominion only values control. You listen. Jackie looked between the two of them, then leaned in. All right, let's build something fast. Real fast. Back in the engineering bay, Zrivax stood alone. The proto-core no longer pulsed for him. It had gone dormant, its energy signature dim. He placed a hand on it, whispering, Why her? Why not me? The core didn't answer. But far beyond the station, in a quiet corner of the galaxy, 3 more proto-cores blinked to life, pinging in response. The chase had begun. Chapter end word count 1, 2, 15 words. Would you like to continue with Chapter 3, or revise/add specific elements to this chapter? The makeshift hangar was a mess of sparks, metal scraps, and shouted curses in at least 3 languages. Sky Dawson ducked under a suspended thruster manifold and slapped a fresh plasma weld into place with a satisfying clang. Okay, she muttered. Stabilizers rerouted, NAV core updated. Life support still janky, but we'll probably breathe long enough to not die horribly. Probably. Across from her, the alien engineer Tlan carefully calibrated a gravimetric compensator using a delicate cluster of tendrils and a hex wrench. This design is unconventional, they said, eyeing a piece of duct-taped circuitry suspiciously. It's duct tape, Sky replied, patting it. That means engineering magic. Tlan looked alarmed. Magic is non-replicable. Exactly. She winked. Over the past 2 days, the team had worked nonstop to turn a derelict hull into something space-worthy, the Scatterbolt, named by Jackie in a moment of delirious caffeine-fueled inspiration. The ship looked like it had lost a fight with a scrapyard, and then convinced the scrapyard to follow it into battle. But inside, it housed the crown jewel, the proto-core phase engine. Modified and now partially integrated, it powered the ship with eerie, humming grace. Jackie walked in, wiping grease from his hands. Power coupling stable. Tlana's navigation rig is online. Shields are, well, let's say they'll stop debris the size of optimism. Good, Sky said, cracking her knuckles. Because we're not just joyriding. She brought up the holographic star map from the proto-core. 3 locations pulsed, distant, obscure systems on the edge of explored space. 3 signals all linked. Maybe caches. Maybe stations. Maybe another piece of this puzzle. Jackie leaned over her shoulder. And I'm guessing the Dominion's already on their way? Sky nodded grimly. Zrivax isn't going to sit on his hands after what happened. He'll want to prove we're thieves or worse, turn this whole discovery into a military asset. Tlana's tone shifted. The Dominion has ships with faster FTL. If we are to beat them, we need more than speed. We need unpredictability. Sky grinned. Lucky for you, humans excel at that. The briefing. Sky gathered her tiny crew, herself, Jackie, Tlan, and Margot, a rogue AI pilot program they'd borrowed from a retired cargo freighter. Margot had all the charm of a disgruntled grandmother and the tactical mind of a veteran warbot. Let's go over the targets, Sky said. First is a dead star in the Askell Verge. Harsh gravity, unstable orbit. Could hide a station. Second is a nebula pocket in Sector Q-19, high interference. Perfect place for a signal relay. Third, she paused, frowning. Third isn't a place. It's moving fast. A precursor object in motion, maybe a ship, and it's heading into disputed space. Jackie whistled. The Dominion's gonna send a war fleet after that. So we hit the first two, she said. Get info, find the moving one before they do. Margot's voice crackled through the intercom. Plotting Lee's suicidal route. Suggest bringing snacks. The first jump. The scatterbolt tore through folded space with a hiccup and a scream, half intentional, half side effect of their patchwork drive. Stars stretched and warped before slamming back into place. Askell Verge. The dead star loomed ahead, a cold sphere of gravity and regret. Orbiting it was a shattered moon, its crust ruptured by ancient impacts. On the far side, a structure. Tlana's sensors pinged. There. Metallic architecture. Precursor origin. No active defenses. Yet, Jackie muttered. Sky took the controls. Margot, put us in low orbit. Jackie, gear up. I'm going in. Alone, he asked. Yeah. You and Tlan stay here in case this turns into a trap. Or explodes. Or both. The station. Sky drifted through the ancient hallways, her mag boots clinking softly on alloy floors that hadn't seen footsteps in eons. Her helmet's HUD flickered from electromagnetic interference. She found it in the central chamber, a precursor data loom, still humming, wrapped in cables like an ancient brain. As she approached, it sparked to life. Symbols flowed across its face. Her wrist pad translated them in real time. Pattern recognized. Node 2 activated. Path alignment progressing. Caution. Heirs are watching. What heirs? She whispered. The loom pulsed. A new set of coordinates lit up. So, did a warning signal. Back on the scatterbolt. Alarm screamed. Dominion vessel inbound. Margot barked. Frigate class likely Zrevax. Time to impact. 90 seconds. Sky bolted. The chase. She launched herself into space as the scatterbolt moved to intercept. The docking clamp caught her mid-jump, and she rolled inside just as the shields flickered on. Punch it, she yelled. Stars warped again. But not before Zrevax's ship fired a tracer, a gravity tether latched to their trail. We've got a tail, Margot reported. They'll follow us wherever we go. Then let's give them a tour, Sky growled. The Nebula Run. They dropped into the Q-19 nebula, a swirling mass of ionized gas and magnetic storms. Visibility 0. Sensors useless. The scatterbolt weaved like a drunken eel. Can't track us here, Sky said. But we can't see squat either. Tlan re-rigged the precursor engine to send out synchronized pulses. We use it like sonar. Echolocation. It worked. Deep within the gas cloud, a relay station emerged, hidden inside a hollow asteroid. They docked quickly. Inside, Sky found another loom, this one partially damaged. But it pulsed once in recognition. Node 3 active. Final piece approaching. Interference imminent. Prepare. The room trembled. Jackie said, pointing at the screen. That moving object? It just changed direction. Tlana's tendrils quivered. It's coming here. The precursor ship. Outside, space rippled. Then something arrived, a massive, angular vessel of black glass and silver veins. It moved like a thought. It didn't broadcast signals or emissions. It's alive, Sky whispered. The ship rotated slowly. Its hull shimmered, adapting its structure in real time. The protocore inside the scatterbolt pulsed in response. They're linked, Tlan said. It called it. Zrivax's ship emerged from the edge of the nebula, weapons charged. The precursor vessel responded instantly. With no weapons. Just a pulse. Zrivax's ship lost power. Lights went out. Engines dead. It drifted, harmless. Sky stared. It judged them and dismissed them. The precursor vessel turned toward the scatterbolt. The protocore in their engine bay floated out of its mount, passed through solid walls like vapor, and joined the mothership. What's it doing? Jackie asked. Finishing the puzzle, Sky said. The offer. The precursor ship projected a message, simple, clear, in Sky's own voice. We recognize your spark. You listen. You adapt. Will you learn? Sky stood frozen. Behind her, Jackie said, That sounds like an invitation. Tlan added, or a test. Sky nodded. She stepped forward. Yes, I will. The ship opened a passage of light. Sky turned to her crew. You coming? Jackie grinned. Wouldn't miss it. Tlan stepped beside them. Curiosity is contagious. Margot chimed in. Fine. But I expect a better ship interface. Together, they stepped into the unknown. Chapter end word count. 1 to 10 words. Would you like me to continue with Chapter 4 and the finale? The Alari ship floated like a cathedral of polished obsidian over Docking Bay 12. Its arrival had caused a stir, partly because Alari ships rarely visited neutral backwater stations like Outpost Beryl 3, and partly because their lead engineer, Chief Zrivax, immediately began treating everyone like they'd crawled out of an oil drum. You call that a plasma wrench? He sneered at one of the human dockworkers, his 4 iridescent eye stalks narrowing in contempt. I've seen better tools used for cuisine. Inside the rusty wrench, the station's semi-legal repair bar, Jackie Dawson rolled his eyes and sipped his synth coffee. Around him, other engineers muttered curses. Everyone had heard the story. The Alari had found a rare proto-core phase engine aboard a derelict precursor vessel, but couldn't make it run. When their own experts failed, they came here for human improvisation, as Zrivax had put it, with all the warmth of a rattlesnake. For 2 days, station techs had poked and prodded the ancient hunk of machinery with no results. Zrivax had declared it a hopeless endeavor and begun preparing to haul it back to Alari Prime for proper analysis. Then, he made a mistake. A loud clang from the bar's kitchen made heads turn as Sky Dawson, Jackie's daughter, emerged carrying a stained rag and a hydro spanner. She could probably fix it before lunch, Jackie muttered dryly, more to himself than anyone else. Excuse me? Zrivax's voice was sharp and condescending. He turned slowly, his long fingers folding behind his back. Did you say the child could repair what your best couldn't? She's not a child. She's 19, Jackie said, sipping his coffee. And yeah, I've seen her rewire fusion coils using toaster parts and a toothbrush. A few engineers chuckled. Sky just leaned against the bar, raising an eyebrow. Go ahead and laugh, she said. But I'm guessing your sacred protocols didn't get you very far, huh? Zrivax twitched. This engine predates your species' discovery of the wheel, he said. Your toasters and tribal instincts are irrelevant. Well, Sky said, shrugging. Let's make it interesting. Dare me. The room quieted. Someone dropped a mug. Zrivax tilted his head, confused. A dare. Yeah. Sky grinned. Dare me to fix your impossible engine. I win. You eat that smug tone of yours. You win. I shut up and go back to scrubbing conduit grease. Zrivax's expression twisted. Alien pride mingled with disbelief. He had never been challenged by someone who smelled faintly of solvent and wore boots with one mismatched lace. Fine, he said coldly. You may attempt it. I will witness this failure firsthand. Jackie sighed. Kid, are you sure? Dad, she said, shouldering her tool belt. You taught me machines are just puzzles with attitude. This one's begging for a proper conversation. The protocore phase engine sat inside a sealed engineering bay under 3 layers of containment shielding. It looked like someone had fused a gyroscope, a Gothic cathedral, and a turbine together and decided to make it hum ominously for fun. The thing pulsed with faint violet light, and the last team to touch it claimed it gave them migraines for a week. Skye stepped in with a bag of tools, a lollipop between her lips, and a permanent marker tucked behind one ear. Zrivax and 2 junior engineers stood outside the glass, watching with crossed arms and smug expressions. She took one look at the diagnostic interface. Nothing responded to standard data jack probes. That wasn't a surprise. Precursor tech was known to resist analysis, like a cat offended by your existence. "So," she said aloud, circling it. "You're the big scary mystery, huh?" The machine's pulse quickened, subtly. Outside, Zrivax blinked. "Is she talking to it?" One junior engineer, a tentacle-faced Ori named Tlan, tilted their head. "She appears to be initiating rapport." "That's not a protocol." Skye ignored them. She pulled out a handheld scanner. It overloaded instantly and sparked in her palm. "Expected that," she muttered, tossing it aside. "Let's go analog." She reached into her belt and pulled out a modified stethoscope, the kind she used on old shuttle coolant lines. Pressing it to the curved side of the engine, she listened. A low, rhythmic wum-wum-wum echoed through the metal.
"Heartbeat," she said.
"You're still alive in there." She unspooled a few meters of copper wire and taped one end to the outer casing. Then, digging through her bag, she pulled out a pack of chewing gum and a capacitor. From the control booth, Zrivax's voice crackled through the comm. "This is absurd. You can't possibly believe chewing materials are relevant." "Sure," she replied. "Some of us are working." She built a temporary feedback loop and flicked the power on. Sparks danced. For a moment, the engine shuddered. A low hum blossomed into a full-bodied purr, then tapered off. Everyone watching leaned forward. She wiped sweat off her brow, tapped the casing twice with a wrench, and grinned. "Okay, big guy. Let's get weird." 30 minutes passed. Zrivax paced angrily, muttering to himself. Jackie leaned against the wall, arms folded, refusing to show how nervous he was. Then it happened. The protocore flared with light, violet beams bursting from the seams in rhythmic pulses. A low harmonic tone filled the air, vibrating through the floor. Every screen in the observation bay went blank, then rebooted, now displaying a 3-dimensional latticework of spinning glyphs and rotating coordinates. "By the stars," whispered Tlan. She activated it. Zrivax's mouth hung open. Inside the bay, Skye casually pulled the lollipop out of her mouth.
"Huh.
So that's what you wanted." She turned to the window and gave a cheeky salute. Zrivax stormed toward the intercom. "Impossible. That machine is sentient adaptive. It's designed to reject incompatible minds." "Guess mine's very compatible," she said. "Also, you might want to step back." The engine suddenly expanded outward, partially unfolding like a blooming flower of crystal and steel. From the heart of the core, a projection shimmered, a floating orb of precursor data. Jackie let out a low whistle. "You just made history, kid." Zrivax stared at her as if seeing a human for the first time. Skye picked up her tools, slung them over her shoulder, and walked out of the chamber like it was just another Tuesday. "Was that before or after lunch?" she asked the stunned room. "I forget." Chapter end word count. 1, 230 words. Would you like me to proceed with Chapter 2, or make adjustments to this one? The inside of the precursor vessel was impossible. Not large, infinite. Not built, grown. Its architecture was alive, shifting silently between crystalline and metallic forms. Walls pulsed like veins. Light was ambient, yet sourceless, casting their shadows in directions that defied geometry. Skye Dawson turned in place, jaw slack. This is what happens when alien architects don't use safety inspectors. Jackie walked carefully beside her, scanning the surfaces with a hand held. "Yeah, well, whatever this place is, my scanner just tried to divorce me and take the cat." Tlan was quiet, reverent. "This is not a ship. It's a mind. a construct designed for communication. And it brought us here, Sky said. So, now what? As if in response, the floor beneath them pulsed, and a pillar of light emerged before them, spinning symbols in midair, each one changing fluidly between languages and concepts. Margot's voice came through their neural comms. Incoming translation. Hold onto your squishy brain meat. A phrase resolved. Initiation. You who listen, share your blueprints. Jackie raised an eyebrow. Blueprints of what? Sky stepped forward. Ourselves.
The test.
The light condensed into a floating interface. No buttons, no commands, just a shared space. Sky reached into it with hesitation and was stunned when it responded to intend alone. With just a thought, it pulled from her memories, her first broken hoverbike, the engine she rebuilt with her dad, the lesson he gave her about solving problems by listening, not forcing. Images spilled into the air like smoke, moments of joy, pain, creativity, defiance. Tlan watched in awe. It's not asking for data. It's asking for identity. The precursor interface pulsed brighter. A second phrase appeared. Instability breeds innovation. Chaos is potential. Humanity is a variable. Jackie snorted. I think we just got complimented and insulted by an ancient alien race. Then a third phrase. Compatible. Legacy continues. Suddenly, the entire vessel shifted. Pathways opened. Energy surged. Their surroundings reconfigured into a long corridor that ended in a spherical chamber. Inside, a second protocore, larger, pulsing, pure. Tlan gasped. It's the original. The seed core. The one all the others were derived from. Margot buzzed in their ears. Guys, whatever that thing is, it just pinged half the sector. Every precursor relic, node, and construct woke up. Dominion ships are reacting across 12 systems. You lit the galaxy on fire. The ultimatum. Suddenly, Zrivax's image flashed into the chamber, his face projected in shimmering interference. You dare enter a sacred vessel uninvited. This is Dominion property by right of technological precedent. Sky rolled her eyes. You keep using that phrase. I don't think it means what you think it means. Zrivax snarled. Deactivate the seed core and surrender it.
Or, we will claim it by force.
You humans have proven yourselves unstable. Sky took a step toward the projection. Unstable? Maybe.
But you don't understand this tech.
You see a weapon. We see an opportunity. Zrivax snapped. Your children playing with God fire. She snapped back. Better children than blind tyrants. The seed core pulsed. Choice confirmed. Guardians appointed. A shockwave of light burst outward. Energy, but not destructive. It passed harmlessly through the station and out into the stars. Across dozens of systems, machines responded. Old Rex came online. Lost stations powered up. FTL lanes reactivated. Not for the Dominion. For anyone who listened. The escape. Back aboard the Scatterbolt, the protocore pulsed in harmony with the seed. They didn't have time to study it. Margot shouted over internal comms. Dominion warships inbound. 2 cruisers, heavy armament, ETA, 5 minutes. Jackie yelled. So, what's the plan? Sky was already moving. We don't fight them. We outrun them. Through the slip path the seed opened. Tlan blinked. What now? She pointed at the map that had suddenly populated with new, living FTL corridors. These aren't shortcuts. They're precursor roads. And they don't follow your rules. Perfect. Jackie grinned, strapping in. The Scatterbolt rose from the chamber floor. The precursor ship didn't stop them. It guided them, activating the corridor with a gesture of light. The moment they entered the slip path, space turned inside out. Stars spun backward. Time skipped. The Dominion cruisers arrived seconds later, just in time to see their prey vanish into impossible space. The revelation. Inside the corridor, everything was silence and color. They flew not through space, but across knowledge, data streams embedded in the path, precursor thoughts archived in light. Sky stared at it, awestruck. It's a library. a digital soul of a dead civilization. Tlan gently placed a tendril to the wall. They didn't vanish. They evolved into data, into code, into pathways between stars. Margot's voice was reverent. They built roads not for themselves, but for the next ones who could walk them. Jackie exhaled slowly. And we're the next ones? Sky looked at the protocore.
No.
We're the first to pass the test. The first to understand. The return. They emerged in a system Sky didn't recognize, a quiet one, uncharted, with no Dominion presence. But in orbit was a world alive with precursor remnants, reactivated ruins, floating machines, living satellites. The scatterbolt touched down. The moment they stepped outside, Sky felt it. A hum in her bones, a welcome. The precursor tech around them adapted, displaying Terran language glyphs and engineering diagrams. It wanted to teach. She turned to Tlan, who stood overwhelmed by the realization. This could reset the balance of power. Free half the Dominion-held territories. Reignite exploration. Sky nodded. Or be used to start a war. Jackie crossed his arms. So, what do we do with it? She looked out at the alien landscape and said softly, we share it.
Carefully.
Not with governments, not with warlords. With builders. With people like us. Tlan smiled. Then we begin here. The legacy. Back on Beryl 3, Zrivax stood before a shattered display, fuming. The Dominion had lost its grip. Not through force. Not through sabotage. But because a mechanic's daughter fixed something no one else could, and refused to hoard it.
Epilogue.
3 months later, a dozen stations had linked to the precursor network. Energy flowed to dead colonies. Jump lanes were stabilized. Small races long ignored by the galactic powers suddenly had access to ancient technology. And at the heart of it, a ship patched together from spare parts and bad luck, piloted by humans, an alien defector, and a sarcastic AI. In a tiny hangar aboard the Scatterbolt, Sky Dawson hung upside down from a plasma duct, fixing something that probably shouldn't be making that noise. Jackie sipped coffee. So, what now? Sky smiled.
Now?
We find the next mystery. And we break it open. Chapter end word count. 1 to 10 words. Let me know if you'd like a full compiled version of all 4 chapters, a side story from Zrivax's perspective, or expansion into a full novel arc.